Simply put, trying things for the first time is really hard, and I fucking hate it. I'm just a sinner, and I happen to notice things every now and then. And when it comes to doing new things for me, it's very scary not knowing what the result is. I'm a very, I guess you could call, anxious person. I don't necessarily want to call myself shy, but when it comes to like building new parts of my life and actually like branching out, I kind of get terrified, if that makes sense, right? Let me give you an example. For like the past couple of months, I've been doing kickboxing for the first time. You feel me? And that's been like fun for the most part. Like are some days more tiring than others? Like yeah, like most definitely, you know? Because you're not just doing like a hobby, you're learning, discipline, learning how to like, fight, fuck around. You feel me? It's kind of like, whoa, okay. New area of life that I'm like investing in, right? But the biggest thing that I'm scared of is being hit. And you see how that kind of just like, brother. And it's not necessarily that I'm afraid of being hit. That's not even the part that I'm even scared about. It's the past feelings coming up, right? Because it's been often that my memories come back through like intrusive thoughts sometimes. And while I may sound a little bit egotistical and somewhat insecure because of this, I often imagine myself fighting people, enacting violence on people, right? And I realized that comes from me always being threatened with violence when I was younger, and that didn't smooth out well because the anger that comes from that type of thing wasn't necessarily like soothed properly, if that makes sense. Because I feel as though for me there was not really a safe space for me to express anger unless it's by myself. But because I'm by myself, no one teaches me how to deal with anger, And crazy enough, now that I'm doing kickboxing, it doesn't necessarily like help me process anger, right? Because I'm 22 now. Of course, like I've learned to like process anger now. But when I was younger, it didn't, right? So while I'm processing the anger that I have now, the anger from my childhood, it comes back up and it's like, whoa. Because you didn't expect for this amount of emotion to just come up out of nowhere. That type of emotion that hits like that's scary as shit. And I think not just with kickboxing, but I think those types of feelings come back up when you try something new for the first time. All those feelings that you felt when you were younger, it comes back up and you actually have to process them with, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be like the same intensity, but it's gonna be like intensity that you didn't necessarily expect. And you face that head on, and it's kind of scary because in that moment when you do feel those emotions, it kind of feels as if you revert back to the age to where you experienced that emotion for the first time. It's often where you have to choose what version of yourself is going to handle this anger, Because when I was younger and angry, I would seclude myself, I would isolate myself, but that anger didn't dissipate. I didn't sit down with myself and say, hey, what are you angry about? What's going on? Like, I basically had to learn to become a safe space for myself and others who could possibly perceive me and actually understand me to that degree. And I feel like not a lot of people find that when they are that age, when you don't have a household that's actively like teaching that type of thing, And unfortunately, you do see the patterns when it comes to like each generation, because you see how they handle their own emotions, and that ends up being passed down to you. It's like a whole family of unregulated people. And eventually, once you reach a certain amount of awareness of your emotions, you realize that being and feeling unstable in the moment is not fun. Thinking about violence is not fun. Thinking about wanting to hurt people is not fun. The intrusive thoughts that come up is not fun. The fear behind wanting to do new things, but your younger self is still there, is not fun. It's not fun. But I'll be honest with you, like, you do have to meet yourself. You absolutely have to meet yourself if you actually want to grow as a person, you know, because of course you can like grow your branches. Of course you can grow your branches as long as you want, but are they going to be strong? Are they going to be strong branches? Are you going to be the same person that handles things the same way despite being given the same opportunities? You feel me? Because getting those opportunities aren't necessarily a sign of growth, but how you handle those opportunities definitely is. And I don't think growth should be tied to the type of things that you attain, but I guess it would kind of be more along the lines of what you allow yourself to attain, if that makes sense. What do you feel when you obtain those opportunities, if that makes sense? Can you process yourself even being able to enjoy those new things that you want to do? Can you give yourself the patience of learning this new thing and being able to accept the fears that come along with it? I've been hit before. I've been hit in kickboxing before. Have I sparred yet? No, but I've definitely been hit. I didn't hold a guard correctly. Boom, hit in the face. I didn't block my side correctly. Boom, hit right here. You feel me? All those times where I'm so tired that I'm not even paying attention to what's going on. I'm just trying to be present in the moment. Nigga, I almost get hit. Like my instincts are turned off like shit, and all that you're thinking about is surviving. And I think that's the crazy part. So many people are stuck surviving because they've been so exhausted for so long. And then when they finally get into a safe place, they're still surviving. Because those emotions that they dealt with, they think they dealt with, they come back. And that intensity is a lot. After compartmentalizing all your emotions for such a long time, I mean, what can you really expect? Be honest with you. But here's the thing. When you realize these moments where you're hyper aware of what's going on, it's not only you observing your own emotions, but it's you observing your own observance. Realizing, oh damn, I'm stuck in a pattern. That can feel so shameful. It can make you feel like, damn, if I would have did this the way if I would have been this way before, I could have taken that opportunity to do this. I could have did that. I could have followed my dreams to do this. It feels like guilt. It feels like you have to grieve a version of yourself that never got to feel safe, you know? And it's okay. It's okay to realize, like, damn, I could have handled this better. It's okay to realize, damn, that's not the way I should have handled that. That's fine. But don't live in that. Because you're more than just what your past was. You're more than just your previous actions. Of course, acknowledge the actions that you took. Acknowledge the impact that you've had on your life and other people's lives. You know? That's what comes with growth and shit. You feel me? It's being able to look at all the previous actions that you've done up until this point and still giving yourself a hug at the end of the day. Because you still deserve to be hugged. Even though you've been afraid, you still deserve to be hugged. Even though you missed out on things, you still deserve to be hugged. You deserve a hug. You deserve a hug. You deserve a hug. Everybody gets a hug. Look, everybody look under your seat right now. There's a hug right up under your seat. I'm gonna hug you with my arms, big bear style. Swear on my soul. But yeah, when you try new things for the first time, you may experience emotions that you've never really planned to feel in the first place. And when you feel those emotions, it can get really scary. It can be incredibly scary. But as long as you have yourself, you can be your own safe space. And once you become your own safe space, you can have other safe spaces with other people, you know? Like, you can even have people help you create your own safe spaces, you feel me? You can connect not just with the person that you are now, but the person that you were when you were younger. Being able to empathize with that younger version of yourself. Being there for yourself in a way, saying, hey, I'm there for you and I'm here for you. I'm not gonna leave you behind. I think that's what real growth is when it comes to trying new things, doing something different, breaking the patterns that's existed for years. But who knows? Swear on my soul, I could just be wrong. And that's okay too. Fuck around. But honestly, damn, I should probably upload a lot more. I'll be honest with you. Like, a lot of things are going on at the same exact time. And while I do show up in some ways, sometimes I do fail to show up on the occasion. Swear on my soul. And I do want to get better with that the more I make content, for sure. It's just creating a content system, or like a passageway of ideas that can come through, so I can just write them down and be like, oh, and then oh, then oh, then up, you know? That'd be fun. That'll make things a lot more easier, a lot more efficient, you know? But yeah, I'm just Sinner. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great mañana, tarde y noche, and I'll see you in the next one. You know what this remind me of? I don't know. I really want to like hug a panda bear right now.